Bistany.
Bistany.
For one word, Bistany. Bistany.
Yes.
Hello, everybody.
That's my husband's initial.
Hi. Thank you for coming. I have to say, this is the first official meeting of the year 2014 for us. And I'm very glad to see you here, as you are glad to see everybody else here. My name is Beth Colvin, known by some as Bethy Lou, the endearing name given to me by my husband, Jackie Boy. Jackie, stand up. Jack, stand up. I just want everybody to know Jackie Boy's here. Thank you. I was not born in the South, but in the state of Washington, and I'm proud of my Southern heritage from the state of Virginia. I know some of you came tonight for camaraderie, others came for calories, but in the end, we will all be motivated and entertained by two of our very own Sarasota Patriots. The Sarasota Patriots, if you don't know it, are a grassroots group without any dues and without a board of directors and without any rules, except we start promptly at 6 p.m. and we end at 7:30. This group is a brain trust with heart and soul. February is a very big month with Alan West coming on the 12th, Donald Rumsfeld coming on the 13th, Ted Cruz coming on the 20th, and Andrea Tantero speaking on the 15th of this month. She'll be in, actually it's Palmetto. She's in Palmetto. The other speakers are all coming right here to Sarasota. All right. So I would like you to stand and we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. And we always start our pledge by saying, I am an American and I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. All right, we're going to move to our little prayer session, and whether you were born in the 1930s as my husband was, or in the 40s as I was, or in the 50s as John Stinger and Kevin Walsh were.
What about us 20s?
Milton, I wasn't going to give it away. Or the 60s as Josh and Harmony Longenecker were, or as in the 1980s as Rachel Nipfer was. You've all been issued a birth certificate and most likely a social security number. Yeah. Our hocus pocus POTUS is an exception, of course. He has no birth certificate, or at least a known birth certificate, and he has multiple social security cards. When we die in the 20th century, as we all will, you will likely to be 80, 90, or 100 something years old. It is what you do with the years between that count. Many of you were baptized before you developed your consciousness. I would like to see how diversified our brain trust is in their religious background. Therefore, I will ask for one person from each of the many various religions to come stand with me, and once we're all together and we have full representation, we will all say the Lord's Prayer in unison. So, I need one Catholic to come forward. One Catholic. Thank you. We've got one Catholic. We need one Baptist to come forward. Are you a Catholic?
Yeah, are you a Catholic too?
We only want one.
We only want one?
Oh, I'm sorry. Tamsin beat you to it.
I will get you.
One Lutheran. We don't have a Lutheran. All right. One Unitarian. No Unitarian. One Jew. I'm half Jew. I remain standing. Okay. One Episcopalian. Come on up. One Methodist. Come on, Jackie boy. One Protestant.
Protestant.
That's a project.
That's the whole bunch.
Well, it shows you where I'm coming from, doesn't it? I told you. One Quaker. I'm getting there. One atheist. No?
That's not a word.
One Methodist.
Oh, you said that.
I did.
Yeah, I'm here.
Excuse me. One Mennonite. One Amish person. One Mormon. Who am I forgetting?
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian, that's what I meant. I said Protestant, I meant Presbyterian. I need one Presbyterian up here.
Eastern Orthodox.
Oh, Eastern Orthodox, come on up, Susan.
And if there are any that you missed, let them come up.
Did I miss anything?
I'm gonna stand in for the Lutherans.
Okay.
Oh, see? That's not a Christian.
Well, I said atheist, I didn't say Hindu or Buddhist or...
All right, you guys, snuggle up.
All right. All right.
Here we go.
So at this point in time, would you all join us in saying the Lord's Prayer? Thank you. This will be an ecumenical Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Well, thank you. I think that was kind of a fun way to do this. I didn't want to call on just one person to say a prayer, so we all did it together. I'm good. I have a little bit more to say. Okay. Did I leave something out?
Well, I thought about Hindus and Buddhists.
Yeah, and Tamsin mentioned that to me. Do we have a Hindu or a
But I
Buddhist?
just asked this gentleman, but he's Christian.
Okay, well, it was a learning experience for me. I mean, Protestant just did not belong there. It was Presbyterian. Okay. Are you having a problem, Pete?
It's all right.
Okay. We have several patriots who appreciate any and all prayers coming their way. In this group, we've had a successful liver transplant for John Dow. John is recuperating in Tampa General Hospital. I'm going to stand over here so people can see me. I can't see people and they can't see me.
Glad they found it.
Well, John waited for 3 months. They do 5 transplants every 2 weeks. They do 10 a month. They do about 120 liver transplants at Tampa General Hospital. It was really a learning experience for me as well as for John, because the deceased person is kept on life support until they found locations for all of their organs that are in good shape. And so the nurses couldn't tell us when or how long it would be or where it came from. We didn't want to know anything personal. We just wanted to know, am I going to be here for 3 more hours or 3 more days? And it took 48 hours for them to actually show up. The surgery was 6 hours long, and he came out of it so happy. He was just deliriously happy. So I think we're all very, very grateful for John. We also have another person with us who has brain surgery scheduled very soon, so we need to keep him in our prayers. I'm not sure that he really wants us to divulge his name, but once it's over with and successful, we'll share the happiness with everybody. And another one of our patriots was recently rear-ended after having back surgery, and so she's very uncomfortable at the moment, and we just need to keep these anonymous people in our prayers, because we know that praying helps people and that it works. We are all prayer warriors, and we need to take a moment to just say our own prayer for somebody we know who might be in need. I think it's a smart thing to do. Now, Andy Anderson said something to me coming in, and I asked him if he'd share with you what he brought with him. So, Andy, would you like to?
Yeah, I think everybody can hear me from here.
Yes.
We've all heard the Tea Party is dead. It's going away, non-existent. Well, that's really not the case. This appeared in the New York Times over the weekend. Let me also say, I don't read the New York Times, so this is reported secondhand. This came from Beth Martin, who is the president or the leader of the Tea Party Patriots. So I'm going to read it the way that it was presented. But I think it's pretty significant what it said here. The New York Times reported that the Tea Party and the conservative groups are raising more funds than the GOP establishment. And there was another piece of information reported in Politico. They reported that the Tea Party Patriots Citizens Fund raised more money than Karl Rove's 3 organizations combined. So the Tea Party is still alive and well and doing well. And the thing that I think, to me, I keep telling my Republican friends, you don't want to lose the Tea Party people. That's where the enthusiasm and the excitement is. We know these contributions are not the big, gigantic ones that the party gets or Karl Rove gets. That means there are a lot of people involved, and I think this is a wake-up call.
Thank you, Andy. That's wonderful news, and I appreciate that. Tonight, Dr. Tamsin Rosenwasser will speak to us until 7 o'clock, and then Joel Strom will also speak as well. A word to the wise: if you were a car or a truck and was issued a VIN number instead of a birth certificate and a social security number, it would be possible for each one of us to get an insurance policy from many different insurers with 1 or 2 phone calls, and we could pay for that quarterly or half yearly or annually, but we're not. And this is part of the reason that Tamsin is speaking to us. We're not treated as well as cars in this country. We are treated, now that the Obamacare issue is on the front table or front burner, we are being treated very, very differently than even an automobile when it comes to our health insurance. So Tamsin is known by her email address. It's Yorktown, October 19th or 19th of October, and Paul Revere. This tells you a little bit about this fascinating woman's life, the name she chose for herself. She trained as a medical doctor and has worked in the emergency room. She's a surgeon and she's an internist as well as a dermatologist. She served for 2 years as the president of a professional organization, the American Association of Physicians and Surgeons. Dr. Rosenwasser received her undergraduate degree on a scholarship at New College here in Sarasota. She enrolled in medical school at Washington University in St. Louis, where she earned the James Henry Yalem Prize in Dermatology and the Irwin Levy Prize in Neurology. She stayed on at the institution to complete an internship and internal medicine residency at Barnes Jewish Hospital, followed by a research fellowship carried out in the Department of Biological Chemistry. She was awarded fellowships to pursue her research by the American Heart Association and the American Gastroenterology Association. So everyone who meets Tamsin has faith in her. I mean, everybody who's met her has just supported her and helped her along the way. She's a past president of the Association of American Physicians and Surgeons and is active in her group. In her leisure time, she enjoys reading, bird watching, and training dogs. Her Newfoundland dogs have earned titles and advanced degrees in tracking, obedience, draft, and water rescue. It is obvious by now that Tamsin is a high-energy alpha female who you will never forget. It's with great pleasure that I ask Tamsin to come forward to speak to you.